This is a setup that I took a little bit earlier this week. What you can see here right off the bat is that we've got a nice downward trend. I just applied 3 moving averages on the daily chart. You can see that the downtrend on the daily chart is something that I'm potentially looking to bet on here. We want to see this thing continue. We want to see the RSI to collapse back down as sellers should regain control in this downward trend. This trade was a very profitable trade. This was awesome to watch play out. We just continued to see this thing move lower and lower, and I was able to make some pretty good money on the trade. We'll pop up the profit here somewhere in the 500s, which is awesome. So kind of cool to see. Video, I'm taking a look at dollar yen, and I just picked up a buy trade on this this currency pair. The commitment of traders data shows that the US dollar, 76% of open futures contracts are oriented to the long side. We just tagged about a 2R, and in this case, what I'd like to go ahead and do at this moment, I'd like to go ahead and lock in some stops. The bad news is that we ended up stopping out of the trade. You can see, I think we had locked in about 450 or so. I'll pop it up on the screen for you guys, the editor will. But the good news, you guys, is check this out. We got the new setup in the office. So all that money that we made on this trade went right into this office. And I just placed a live trade on this this currency pair with a $400 risk.
You what?
Price came up to this level here, 137.5. And let me get a different color here so you guys can see that. So this level came into play once and twice, and both times failed out. Okay guys, so it's been a couple hours since I initially took this trade, and we are currently floating $410 or so. I'll pull up the details on the trade here so you can see. And just that quick, we actually ended up getting stumped out. That's okay. We took our profit here, and again, I don't like the way this candle is forming. Today I'm taking a look at USD CHF, and I just picked up a long position on this chart. Institutional traders basically long on the dollar and short on the Swiss franc. So here's my initial entry point. Price came down and just barely missed my stop loss on this trade. Price came down and just narrowly missed my stop loss here for $400, and now has since actually sort of recovered in this zone. So overall, again, a $480 profit plus a little bit of change. Today we're taking a look at USD JPY, and I just picked up a long trade. We have a strong bias towards the US dollar as they have been aggressively raising interest rates, where Japan stays at that negative 0.1% very stubbornly amongst central banks raising interest rates. All out of USD JPY here. Unfortunately, this trade went just under my level of support here that we marked, grabbed my stop loss, and reversed. So small loss of $400, we'll take it and we will move on, just accepting that in this case we were just wrong about our entry.
So you get nothing, you lose. Good day, sir.
I just picked up a long position on this chart. The idea here from just a simple standpoint of technical analysis is we have a very strong upward market here. The COT data is pointing towards hedge funds and small banks, institutional traders basically long on the dollar and short on the Swiss franc. Stay tuned, we'll give you some coverage on what's happening. Spiking, oh my goodness. Spiking to the upside, dollar up big time right there. Dollar yen, what just happened? And fortunately was able to close out here with a profit. So we'll take that about $540 something, $530 on the actual trade. And then in addition to that, we also collected some positive swap on this pair of about $28.23. Video. I'm taking a look at USD JPY and gonna see if we can make some more money on this one. We've got a nice upward trending market direction. Now, on top of that, we also have a nice level that we previously broke out of being retested that we were able to make a nice profit on earlier this week.
The bullet train to heck!
And we suddenly were just out of the money with a $403 loss. And now I'm going to go home, sit in a corner and cry as I think about how terrible of a trader. Nope. This is a good learning lesson, and I love video. Take a look at CAD yen here, and I just picked up a long position. You can see each time prices come down to this 105.53 area, we've seen pretty fast rejection from buyers. So at this point, what I'm doing is I'm basically willing to take the risk that I think we could continue to rally back up on the longer time frames, higher time frames, the daily chart, etc. And believe it or not, I'm actually going to close this trade out for a loss. When losses are forming, I'm happy to jump out of a trade. I believe quickly taking losses is a key component to my trading strategy that has helped to make me successful over. I'm not going to believe what happened in today's trade. Stay tuned, and yes, this is in fact a live trading account. Taking a look at EuroCAD here, I just picked up a short position, 168,000 units, and I am risking $400 on the trade. I'm actually using the Edge Finder, and this EuroCAD scan, by the time you see this video, it probably, well, it could be out to the public. Price went right up here and smacked against me initially. But look how close. I counted it out on stream. I believe it was 0.8 pips away from getting hit. Yeah, 0.7, 0.8 pips from getting my stop loss hit here on the trade.
Well, they don't come any closer than that.
Something dollars, $629. So not bad at all. Very happy with this trade, and just another one put behind me. Euro USD is on the rise, and I have a short bias. Hopefully you can see that there. No messing around with demo profits. This is a real trade. COT data. We have very strong reporting for the US dollar from the institutional side of things, meaning that institutional traders, bankers, hedge funds, things like that, they're very long on USD. And so that gives me a bias to the short side on this pair. I just got back to the charts and I just decided, you know what? That looks bullish. We got a big, strong green candle. I'm gonna go ahead and close. Between the two accounts, almost $700, about $650 to $700, somewhere in that range. We'll pop up the screenshot so you guys can see how the trade went.
We've got to have money.
It is time to short Euro NZD. Welcome back to another live trading video. I'm taking a position right as we speak. I'm on my live terminal, no fake MT4 stuff here. We are going to be taking a real trade here. So in Europe, there has been more positive growth recently than in New Zealand, but everything else on this list favors NZD. We just closed for $796 of profit here on Euro NZD. Price did ultimately not continue the way we were expecting, basically held support here. Trading. Now, I'm going short EuroCAD here today, and let's go ahead and start the trade. GDP growth, we have more growth in Canada. Inflation, we have less inflation, which is better in Canada. Euro region has higher unemployment, so we're going to go ahead and side more so with the CAD, which is sitting at only 4.9% unemployment compared to 6.6. We are all out of EuroCAD for a lovely loss of $795.
Oh, no.
This is GBP JPY, and in today's video, we're trading it on a live account. On the long side, you can see if we zoom in here, I took 61,000 units to the long side. For now, the market has told us that things look bullish, which is good. We've gone ahead and locked the stop. We don't want to see this trade come back down. We'll pop up the end result here on the screen. So just to scroll out a little bit, see what happened. Poked through it here. And I just didn't love that we didn't hold this area. Actually, I was watching price. Every trade I take just ends up being a loss. What am I doing wrong?
Trader Nick, CAD yen.
You might very quickly say, like, Nick, why the heck are you buying this market? It's trending down and it does not look very optimistic for buyers. CAD yen still printing a potential bullish move, and what I do like also is that the month of June and July historically are positive for the pair. In this case, what we ended up doing is by trailing that stop loss and tightening it up using market structure and our analysis of, you know, where we essentially want to get out if things go wrong, we saved ourselves an extra $200 and ended up making around $950 on the trade total. This, in my book, is what I would call a great trade. I ended up capitalizing on the most of this. Today we're taking a look at CAD yen, and we're going to be doing some live trading. So this is no hindsight. So we entered into a consolidation phase. If we look left, we're looking at the 4-hour chart, by the way. So to me, it seems like we have a pretty good shot at seeing a continuation to the upside. You can see price did in fact come back through my entry point and ended up resulting in a loss. In fact, this loss was about $800 overall. We'll show the profits on the screen here. And this was basically just a failure to hold this little break and retest zone. Today, we're taking a look at USD CHF, and I just picked up a long position. If we look at the dollar and the Swiss franc in terms of the futures market, when we look at the dollar, you can see that they are very net long, and that on the Swiss franc, they are very net short. I know what I'm going to do if I'm wrong, or if I see this thing reverse, right? If this thing breaks through support, we're out. And if this thing breaks higher, as it seems to want to try to do, then we'll look to trail stops behind this market structure upon a close above the recent high. It's showing signs of a breakout to the other direction, so this for me is my rules to go ahead and close the trade and lock in my profit of just shy of $1,400. Now, here's the thing, with additional swap carry, so overall that brings me just about $1,400 on this trade. Dollar Swiss, nice move overall, and I am looking specifically at USD CHF. And I want to break this down here for you. I just entered a buy trade. We can see that 78% of those contracts are on the long side of the dollar. Conversely, if we take a look at the CHF, only 34% roughly are long, whereas a whopping 66% of institutional money is on the short side of the trade. What we can notice is that the crowd here is actually very very short. So there's that hint that, okay, well, if the crowd is short, we may want to look to go long. All right, guys, we are all out of the trade, around $1,900 total. But I wanted to say one cool thing about this is if you look at this, we also were able to collect some positive swap for holding this currency pair long, as buying the dollar and selling. Price rallied this morning on EuroCAD, and I just picked up a short position. The Canadian dollar wins in terms of GDP growth. That's positive for the CAD. If we take a look at inflation, there's less inflation in Canada currently. That's bullish for CAD. And at this point, it is now officially time to go ahead and take the risk off the table, which for me means taking this stop loss and moving it right here. All right, guys, we're all out of the trade here for a total of around $2,000 of profit, which to me is a really good trade. I'm happy with how this one played out. Just an overall recap. Taking a look at Dollar Swiss, and I'm back in another trade here, but I'm going to catch you up to speed. So knowing that in the month of October and September, they historically see a rise in the dollar Swiss franc. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trail my stop further here into profit. And at this point, what I'm doing is I'm locking in $2,400 on the trade, which is a great spot to be in. In the end, we did ultimately get stopped out here. It's $2,434.94. And what you're seeing now is some of those positive swaps on the screen. This brings the total profit of this trade up to $2,533.15, which is a nice little extra bonus for holding the trade for a number of days. I went to battle with the Euro USD in order to make this money. I had to have a lot of patience. I worked through this thing from start to finish, and it was a grueling fight at times. Open non-commercial positions are on the long side, whereas for the dollar, 77.6%. That's a very high ratio of open positions exposed to the long side on the futures market for big players. So if we know big players are buying the dollar, that's a bullish signal. Also, if we look at the little guy is 71% long on the euro dollar, betting that this thing is going higher. And currently the trade is floating over $10,000, at this point almost $12,000, which is a really large profit here for the account. I'm going to go ahead and modify my order. I'm going to bring this down here, and I'm going to lock in just about $10,000 out for $10,000 of profit. This is definitely, for me, my record trade that I've ever caught on camera for foreign exchange, and probably one of my best trades ever. So kind of cool. I can definitely say that this is much more than I ever expected to make in a single trade when I first started in trading, and that's just kind of how trading goes. It's like the longer you do this, the more you compound and build accounts, the bigger the trades can potentially get.